Audio's coming on.
Actually.
That's my personal, so I don't care which number you use, but at least here's something that has my name on it, and it has my business email on it, and business phone number on it. So you can use each one, which is fine.
That's some comfort shit.
So that's for the, you came up with a.
Well, the work plan is kind of the umbrella company, I'm a writer also, and I create a conversation, so I go off with confirmations of the services.
You're on.
What's going on? We're back. Real Talk 360 with yours truly. And a main man tag. But it's been an interesting week. I haven't watched the episode from last week yet.
Really?
No, I didn't watch
Really?
it. I haven't
How
watched
dare
it.
you?
I know I haven't watched it yet.
You know what? I don't even like it.
I'll admit I have not watched it, but I'm gonna watch it tonight. I'm gonna watch it tonight.
Well, the ratings were through the roof.
Were they?
They were through the roof.
Were they higher than Amanda Ashley's?
Absolutely.
ratings?
Who?
Okay.
Amanda who?
Oh yeah, we don't even say
Amanda
that.
who?
We don't say our last name around here.
We don't say the double A
But
name.
yeah, but definitely I know y'all held it down. I know you had Mercedes up here,
Yep.
so I know Mercedes held it
We're
down.
talking politics, community, boxing.
That's a good mix.
Absolutely.
Interesting mix. But we're back for another edition. I want to thank you for being with us on this Thursday evening. A little chilly Thursday evening, but you know what? So far for this month, the weather that we done had, cannot complain.
Yeah, I gotta complain a little bit. I've been coughing a little bit, so I hope not to. Last week I was coughing a little bit, but can't get rid of this dry cough, so I'm gonna try to control it with some pause and some Sierra Mist.
It should be good, but yeah, no, I mean we've had 80-degree days, 90-degree days.
It's been bouncing up and down.
Bouncing up and down, but it hasn't been 40 degrees.
It feels like it sometimes.
I don't know. It hasn't been 40. I've had the window cracked open just a little bit. I've seen people posting on Facebook talking about, I'm gonna turn the heat on. I'm like, turn the heat on your house. Your house must be poorly insulated.
No, actually, that's not true.
Well, what is it?
That actually means it's pretty good insulated. Well, it could mean a number of different things, but I know when I was actually construction manager, project coordinator, housing program coordinator for this community agency a few years back, my job was to go into these dilapidated homes and write up a whole scope of work. In other words, I'll go in there and write up everything that needs to be done to make the house look brand new. So I'm in this house for anywhere between an hour to 2 hours, taking pictures, 200 to 300 pictures, taking measurements. I take a lot of pictures in case I forget something. Measurements, everything. I'm in there from the outside to the basement, every room, attic, everything. And there's times when it's cold outside. When I'm talking about it's 2-3 feet of snow, and it's even colder inside. Because there's no electricity, no gas, or nothing. It's shut off. It's an empty, abandoned house. So it was so cold inside that I had to come outside to get warm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's how cold it is in the homes. So homes are colder generally inside than they would be outside.
Yeah, but a house that's being lived in?
Yeah, I can, because my house is a little chilly too inside.
Mine is comfortable. Like right now, it's been comfortable. I looked at the heat when I got back, and I was like at 70 degrees.
No, I think that has to do with you bringing back that California sun. You're still used to it on your,
Yeah, but
on
you
your
know what's
shoulders.
funny though is that LA never got warmer than 75 degrees. LA is not known.
Yeah, I kind of expect you to come back a little bit.
LA is not known for their heat. LA is known for their sunshine.
Yeah,
It's known for that. No, LA right now it's just as cool as it is out here. It's just a lot nicer looking.
You want to
It is
wrap
out
up
here.
real quick in a nutshell? How was your experience out there in Cali, aside from the boxing? Because I got, I'm a little jealous of some of those pictures that you was having class.
It was a great experience. Overall, it was a great experience. I'm glad I was able to be a part of, the boxing experience, to be able to get like an inside look into what fight week looks like. That to me was the most gratifying experience, because I got to see, first of all, of course, shouts out to Willie Monroe Jr. We took the L, but came out victorious, which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So lost, but won at the same time. But it was just a great thing because you get to see the hype up before the fight. Not only what he's going through, but the whole media circus around it. The hotel that we were staying at, everybody was staying there. The reporters, the promoters, the commissioners, the boxers, everybody was in that
What hotel was that?
The Westin Hotel, right by the airport. Beautiful hotel. So it was like you would just be walking and Gennady walked right by, or Chocolatito, who ended up winning Ramon Gonzalez, he would just be walking right by. And it was just a really interesting experience. But overall, it was great, man.
I heard that the views were just runner-up to the Canelo fight. At 1.4, 1.5 million views.
Which is big.
The fight. That's pretty big.
They had international representation. I believe it was a total of 178 countries that HBO reaches. Out of those 178, 165 were actually watching. So that was huge. There were fights that were on the undercard before the ones that we saw in the U.S. that were being broadcast internationally.
Okay.
There was 2 fights. I didn't get to see any of them, but yeah, the broadcast and what they were doing was phenomenal. And it's HBO, this is big time. So in that respect, I think that was the biggest win for Team Monroe. That was the biggest win for Willie because, even though we all saw the fight, I don't got to sit here and go, line for line of what happened. They didn't come out victorious, but he did more than what people expected him to do. More than
Especially after the 2 knockdowns.
Yeah, especially after the 2 knockdowns in the second round, the fight looked like it was over. And he came back and he fought, and both of Triple G's eyes were swept. Both of his eyes, not just one of them. And there were some punches landed that you could see Triple G kind of stumble a little bit and kind of like have to regain a step, which was great. But ultimately, I think Willie won because he impressed HBO. And by impressing HBO, basically that means that come September, October, latest of November, you'll be seeing the 585 once again on HBO.
That's what's up.
So that's a big thing. Michael Buffer even came up to us and was like, he's got the heart of a champion. He's got the heart of a champion. Even though he didn't win, I can see that he's got the heart of a champion. I give that respect. So for Michael Buffer to say that.
You were there when he said that?
Yeah, he came right up to us and said it.
That's what's up.
So those things were great.
Did you tell him he owes me money?
Yeah, no, I didn't tell him. The way that my timing was set up, I couldn't do it.
That sounds like you're checking your savings, the way it's set up and
checking the
everything.
savings was set up, I couldn't do it. But he gave props. Sugar Shane, Mosley gave props. So it was just good to see that side of it. It was great. Overall, it was great. The personal time that I had was great, as you see in some of the pictures. That was a good thing. Roland Williams showed me a great time out there, so that was another unique experience. He's actually on his way back. He just texted me to see he was stuck in Philly. So he should be here tonight. He'll be here tonight or tomorrow. But yeah, overall, definitely was great, man. So, shouts out Willie Monroe Jr., Team Monroe. Phenomenal job. I know that, the reception, I think, was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Because having us there was a few of us that were there, and it was great. I ended up staying up with him, I think, the night of the fight. We were down in the hotel lobby till like 6 in the morning, just talking. And we're talking, and reporters are coming up. Okay, I got an interview real quick, and I'm like, all right, do the interview real quick. But he was in good spirits, and you can tell that he gave his all. But when it came down to it, Gennady is who they say he was.
Yeah.
And his punching power is second to none, bro.
Well, it has to be for someone to just say, to just stop the fight like that. I mean, it could have gone south.
Yeah, and I think at that point, Willie understood, what was going on. He was basically facing an uphill battle, and he got caught with a kidney shot, which is not the cleanest of shots. You shouldn't be getting hit in the kidneys. But he got caught with a kidney shot that really, ended up kind of the equilibrium, the legs kind of gave way to some of that. But he went in there, he did what nobody else wanted to do, and it's one thing I don't try to do is I don't try to address the haters or whatever you want to call it. I don't even really acknowledge the fact that they exist. But the critics, the sideline critics and the quarterback, the Monday morning quarterbacks, you know, they popped a whole bunch of mess about all this and about that. But one thing that I honestly can say is that no one wanted to step up into the ring against Triple G.
No, true.
You know,
But can you play devil's advocate for a second and what, you know, a devil's advocate, just put yourself in a different set of shoes. You know, we're Willie's boys and we wish nothing but the best for him to go on and win. Hometown hero, he's been on our show many times and so on and so forth. But what are your thoughts as a boxing fan? I mean, do you see anything he could have done differently?
oh yeah, there's a lot of things I think he could have done differently, but you know, I think anything that I thought he could have done differently, I think he knows he could have done differently. You know, defense, absolutely. You know, that one punch, man, that one knockdown in the second round, he got caught flush in the face.
Dude, next time you get flies at home.
Yeah, I'm not even paying attention. They're like the haters. I ignore them.
Well, it keeps going around you, and it keeps
How
coming
didn't
at me.
even bother me. But you know, I think that definitely you know, caused some issues for him. But overall, man, I think his tenacity, his toughness, the fact that he fought, that he kept going when, you know, I think anybody else would have gave up, showed a lot. And honestly,
The only thing I wish.
I mean, people spent $100 for the Mayweather Pacquiao fight. They didn't
Oh,
get
no,
that.
this is way more exciting.
Nowhere near the action that
No,
they got
absolutely.
in 6
Absolutely.
rounds.
I just, my only thing was I wish he didn't quit. I wish if it was like that, I wish it would have been his corner or the ref or somebody to stop it. I just wish it wasn't him that quit like that. Because that's perception-wise, that's what a lot of people are looking at. He just quit.
Yeah.
And they don't know.
But at the same time, to play devil's advocate to that is a matter of also realizing and recognizing the fact that
I got
this
it.
dude cannot ignore
I got
a little tiny fly, a fruit
Yo,
fly.
but it
This
keeps
is
being in
big.
my face.
And he can't ignore that. You see
No,
that? You
it
see
bothered
that?
me.
You see that?
We caught it.
But
That's murder.
you know, I think ultimately the decision was his to be made because only he was fighting that fight, not his corner.
Yeah.
Not anyone in that ring, not anybody watching on TV. It was him that was fighting that fight, and he had a, you know, and I'm pretty sure that he didn't want to do that, but he ultimately knew how he was feeling at that moment, and you know,
Yeah, he feeling something to say, yeah.
one thing for Willie, you know, one thing that I think that he's made it a point to do is he's not going to be one of these boxers at 40 and 50 years old that can't talk,
Yeah.
that can't do anything because of the fact that they refuse to give up. You know, sometimes you gotta know when you quit your losses. And I think, honestly, me personally, those that, you know, they have pride, but those that their mind supersedes their pride, I think go a lot further, not only in boxing, but in life.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of people that are just so prideful that they won't give up when they know they should have given up.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that end up bankrupt. Those are the ones that end up with vehicles repossessed. They end up in situations where they're like, but I didn't want to give it in. I didn't want to give up, you know?
Yeah.
And in that situation there, I honestly commend him because he knew, you know, this is a tough fight. The dude, you know, is a tough opponent. And at this point, I don't think he felt like, you know what, I'm going to be able to do anything relevant moving forward. He put the punches out there that should have done something to him, and the punches didn't do enough to him, didn't knock him out, didn't do anything that I don't believe he deemed was huge. So, you know, he said, you know what, let me cut my losses now, and I'm done. You know.
Well, Kenny Rogers said it best. You got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them.
Yeah. And he knew when to step down and say, okay, you know what, I'm done. And like I said, I mean, you got to give a lot of respect to a man that can do that. That can, for one, choose it as a profession and go in there and do what he did. And for two, be able to be honest with himself and say, you know what, no, I need to. Tap out.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't really care so much for UFC, but in UFC, you know, they do it all the time. It's called a tap out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But basically, the guy is saying, I quit. I'm done. It's the same thing. In boxing, we don't have that, but, you know, we do have a man able to make his decision. And he made that decision, and, you know, I don't think it takes away from his performance. I don't think it takes away from who he is as a boxer.
Well, I
just think it really showcases.
Absolutely. I mean,
you know,
after getting knocked down twice in the second round and coming back and trying to just get in there and showing what he can do. I mean, everybody knew that he was a straight underdog, and for him to come back in those later rounds, the third, fourth, and fifth, and so on and so forth, and show what he had, I think that impressed a lot of people.
Yeah, and I think in that case, in that aspect, he won.
Yeah.
You know, and even after the fight, the amount of people that came up to him. I remember one guy, man, specifically, after the fight, he had to go back out and do post-fight interviews. So it was him, Triple G, Chocolatito, and the dude that he fought. And they're up on the stage and they have like maybe 300 media reporters that are there asking them all the questions and asking them everything, you know. And when that was done and we're walking back to the dressing room, you know, this guy walks up to him and this guy was like, you know what, he said, you have the heart of a champion, but he said, what I respect more about you than your boxing skills is the fact that you gave all the glory to God. And he cited a little Bible passage real quick. And I think that right there meant more to Willie. And that interaction right there was just ridiculous. And then going into the dressing room, must have been some rich lady because she was back there. Two little boys went up to Willie and they have hats. And they're like, oh, can you sign this, Mr. Monroe? And he signed the hats. And I'm like, that right there was more telling of ultimately what he won.
Yeah.
Even though he wasn't victorious in the ring, all the things that he was able to win outside of the ring. And like I said, he's back on HBO. Did he fight? You know, somebody that was obviously who they said he was? Yeah. Triple G is the truth. He's the reason why nobody wants to fight him. But at the same time, I can't honestly sit here and say that the opportunity won't come back around again. And
well, Willie's young and he's
time,
early in his career in the sense where, you know, he's only got like what, 20 something, early 20 fights, like was it 19 wins, 2 losses. Yes, he's got 21 fights, and you know the future's bright for him. So as long as he picks the right fights, not no weak opponents, and not someone like Triple G until he's ready for that level again. Just pick smart fights, not easy ones, but smart ones. Something that can show his caliber and impress people and move up the ranks.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And that's had the opportunity of Roland was there, of course, and just in talking to him, and he had some words to say. And even with him, he was like, I know what he feels because when I went to the Super Bowl with the Raiders, we lost that Super Bowl. And he's like, nobody likes to lose, but he was like, that's not what champions are made of. Champions are not made of winning all the time. Champions are made of losing and coming back.
Absolutely.
And so we're looking forward, Rochester. Make sure you stay tuned, and we'll have it here on the show. We'll be looking at September, October time frame. We'll be back in the ring, back on HBO. Possibly Vegas, possibly Cali. Who knows where it's going to be? Who knows who the opponent is? But I expect for different results.
Absolutely,
it's going to be dope, man. So as far as just here, the weather's been nice. Summer looks like it's finally getting here. Memorial Day weekend. So shout out to all of those that have lost someone. Basically that has been serving. Specifically, Orlando comes to mind. Who lost his brother. Staff Sergeant Javier Ortiz, and he lost his life a few years ago fighting for our country. So this weekend we want to make sure that we remember him, and we remember all those that have passed away. Basically, once again, doing something that not everybody wants to do. Doing something that somebody that I honestly, can't see myself doing it. And these young guys are going out there and they're putting their lives on the line. So
absolutely,
it's crazy, but definitely want to shout out the families. The friends and those that are...
Be safe out there.
Oh, yeah,
whether you're traveling or going and coming.
Oh, yeah. Make sure you have a safe weekend. Stephanie and Rocky are coming up. They get here tomorrow. So they're coming up for the weekend. So we got a whole bunch of things that we got lined up. We're going to do show them now that it's warm out. Show them a couple
because last time it was brick out, right?
It was a week before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So it was brick. So this time it's not brick, so we're good. So that's going to be a good time. And that's pretty much it. So what's going on with you?
No, just his cough.
I'm
trying to fight the cough, man.
All right. So
I cough so hard, I kid you not, where how you crack your bones, your knuckles, and all that. It cracks my back, and it's killing like my chest. It almost feels like a bruised chest, and it keeps me up late at night. I'm just coughing this dry cough. So that's all I'm doing right now. And it tires me out. I wake up in the morning beat because I'm spend the whole night coughing the whole day. My chest is hurting. That's how bad it is. So
well, just make sure you get better. Make sure you keep it to yourself.
There's nothing. Like I said, I have no temperature. I'm not no runny nose, no sneezing, no nothing. It's just this dry cough. I don't know where it's coming from.
Gotcha, definitely.
Feel like a hairball's stuck in the back of my throat. Or something.
You never know. Pause. So the lineup was unveiled today for the Puerto Rican Festival, the 46th annual Puerto Rican Festival, Rochester, New York, taking place August 21st through the 23rd at the Frontier Field VIP parking lot. We have this year Henry Santos, who is, I don't know if he's cousin or brother to Anthony. Romeo Santos.
Yeah.
Formerly of the group Aventura, right?
Cousin or brother?
Cousin. So cousin of Romeo Santos, who obviously is like the biggest. I mean, when I seen him in Fast and Furious 7, I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Like, this dude is
Get a
everywhere.
compound over there with like.
This dude's everywhere. It's
Yeah.
like, every
That's
time I
what's
see
up.
him, I'm like, so nasty. Me tiro un peo and like, so nasty. but dude's obviously doing his thing. But anyway, his cousin's gonna be here at the Puerto Rican Festival. I like Yomo.
Yomo's the, what is he,
Reggaeton. I like Yomo. Yomo to me is ill. I haven't heard anything recent from him, but all the music, the older music that I've heard from Yomo, he's been around for a while. Sick reggaeton. So that's gonna be dope on Friday. Saturday we've got this crew, man. And when you see these guys, I don't think that they're as popular as some of the other acts. Their name is Booyah. They're out of Chicago. But these guys,
What kind of music?
if I want to say it's on some like Africano, like some real like congas and a real, I can't describe it, man. We're gonna have to get some video up so you can really understand what they're all
So
about.
it's B-U-Y-O.
No, B-U-Y-A, Booyah.
Booyah.
Booyah. So look them up. Booyah, B-U-Y-A. We'll have some video up next week of them. And then that same night, we have Victoria.
Well, I'm sure we'll have some, either Orlando, somebody show before that happens and to come in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Victoria Sanabria.
Sanabria, yeah.
She's been here before. And
Wait,
then,
don't forget the Patrulla.
no, that's the last group. Josie Esteban y La Patrulla 15 was actually having a reunion tour. And so that we're part of their reunion
That's what's up.
tour. So they're back
They
together.
were big when I was living in Puerto Rico. I was like 11, 12 years old.
Gotcha.
Maybe 13. I was living out in Puerto Rico. They were big back then.
So
Huge.
that's gonna be dope. And then and Sunday.
That's what I'm.
Sunday.
Listen, man, I can last the whole day as long as I'm there for Sunday. I'm a big salsa person. I love my salsa. I love the older it is, the better. My family got me into it. My mom, my uncles, and one band that has really stuck out with me. And you know, I can almost relate them to a band called Iron Maiden. You heard of them?
Yeah.
Iron Maiden were the ones that had those cool album covers with the Eddie Monster guy, and they had some unique album covers, and you didn't know what the heck it was until they blew up. With Sonata Ponceña, they always had some different album covers. They never really put themselves on covers, not most of the time. They had some like middle-aged type of designs, and like with a horse and a guy in a freaking armor suit and some other stuff. I mean, it was always different.
Gotcha.
I never knew what it was. I seen the records in the collection, the family house, and I was like, "What's this?" And then when I started to play them, when I got the records from my uncle, I started to play them. Like, "Oh, I know this song. Oh, I know that song." And I just like, "Oh, I grew up with them. I grew up with this stuff." And Sonata Ponceña is like, in my opinion, like the best of the best band out there. They can rate up there with Grupo Nietzsche and El Gran Combo, among a couple other ones. But they're my favorite because I mean, one person, Papo Luca, the piano guy. He is amazing. Amazing. The guy is just amazing. I mean, he could tell a story just with his piano. I'll show you some videos sometime, but I mean, I'm excited.
Yeah, no,
I'm excited.
I can tell because
I'm really
it takes a lot
excited.
to excite you. So,
No, I'm excited.
So I can tell. But I misquoted. Saturday is Booyah NG2
Yeah, I was
is coming, which I believe they're more of like a salsa merengue. Daniel?
Who's that?
NG2?
Enejado salsa.
Salsa, pura salsa. All right, so NG2, and then Josie Esteban, and then Sunday is Victoria Sanabria and La Sonora Ponceña. So it's gonna be good. But talking about salsa,
I get like little
salsa, and talking about the music that obviously we're gonna be having this year. We'll be showcasing a lot more of that as we go along. Tonight's guest is no stranger to salsa music. Is no stranger to hip hop music. Is no stranger to music. Period. I mean, anybody that knows music, that really follows live music orchestras, they know about the Orquesta Antonetti.
Yep.
This is a group that, although they are from Rochester, they're based out of Rochester.
They
have
have
recorded
played.
albums, have played all over the world.
Yep.
And our guest today has also had the blessings of playing all over the world, and it's played with so many people. I mean, I created the little Facebook montage that I did real quick to kind of showcase some of the people that he's worked with. And I mean, we're talking about Mark Anthony. He was actually the timbalero in the Mark Anthony video. But I mean, we're talking about, you know, the creme de la creme.
It's funny you say that because
best.
I was with my kids one day and I was like, your cousin's in that video. They're like, no, it's not. Like, there he is right there. They looked at it. They went like this, and then they looked at me. My cousin, for real?
No.
They just gave me this look like, I got a cousin in there. Like, they didn't believe me.
Yeah,
but we're
I mean,
like third or fourth cousins. Me and Daniel, our families. It goes back to like my grandmother. My grandmother tried to explain it to me one day, and I'm like,
yeah. So, but definitely that's our featured guest today, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about, you know, the past, the present, and the future. But definitely want to give big ups, you know, not only to him but to this community in Rochester, man, because a lot of people don't realize there's so much coming out of this small city, and this is one prime example of that, and that's what we're going to showcase. So, Tim, if you can go to that video that I sent you.
Yep.
And fast forward to like the 4th minute, that'll be great. If not, don't worry about it. Right there, perfect. Keep playing it, Tim. No, don't keep playing it, Tim. That's
all right. That's all right.
Yeah,
That's the beauty about live
Let him
TV.
relax.
Yeah.
Relax.
Relax.
We're
good.
This feels good.
We're good.
I
So
get you guys.
here we have tonight Daniel Decoy Antonetti.
Yes, sir.
Definitely want to thank you for coming out with us tonight and doing the show.
So, thank you for having me.
Absolutely, come
So
on.
wait.
It's family. It's family. Mike is all over. That Mike's all
Okay.
over.
Mike's
We're
ready.
good.
Oh, you're on.
We're good. We're on. We're
I can hear it
good.
loud back there, but I'm like, yo, what's
Yeah, no,
going
we're
on?
good. If you, the way you hear it over there is the way they hear it at home.
Cool.
So, yeah, so we're good. You don't even have to worry
No,
about
we're just trying to get you on for a hot minute too.
Yeah, so definitely, something
Mike, I
I
ain't here.
reached out to him. No, I just reached out to him, the last couple of weeks. It was last week when I was out in Cali. So usually I'm the one that's setting everything up. This guy, he just shows up on Thursdays. He texts me like at 1 o'clock on Thursdays who we have it on.
No, no.
So, yeah, pretty much.
No.
Pretty much. So we try to make sure that we get everybody on here. And so far, since we've been back on the air, we've had a
We're
great
gonna get a
group
new
of
booking
people.
agent. I'm sorry.
So-
I apologize. We're gonna get a new booking agent.
Yeah.
Made it.
Maybe I
So
think
who
we
you had on
should.
the show?
So we've had what? So far this year, we've had Mercedes, we've had Willie.
Mercedes from Pretty Girl.
Yeah, of
They
course.
say the whole thing, so
That's
they
the
know.
whole girl. Yeah, oh, they know. Trust me, they know. She was
Oh
here.
yeah.
She was here
was
last
my
week.
co-host
She was
yesterday.
the co-host
This guy
last
was
week.
chilling on the west side.
Yeah, it's on
Acting
the
like
West
he didn't know
Coast.
nobody.
But so we've had Willie Monroe, of course. Who else do we have this year so far? Oh, we had Narrator. Narrator Vasquez.
Hurricane.
Hurricanes
Oh, that's
here
right.
from one of the
Yeah,
fighters.
cute.
One of the
For
fighters
the
from
fighter,
Barnabas.
yeah,
That was at the Armory.
the Armory, the
Jerry.
main event.
Main event.
Yeah, we had Q, which
I
was
performed at that.
yeah, you performed,
Yeah, I
yeah,
got pictures.
yeah. I was,
Yeah.
yeah, he was there. We had to break it up. He went there, and I went to the Lucas Matisse Ruslan Provatnikov fight because I felt like I've supported enough of Mercedes. I will always support Mercedes' fight, but I had to go see this fight. And this
No,
fight
the truth
was
is he had
off
already
the
bought
hook.
tickets, and then this one got booked. Well, then Mercedes brought up her show, and he's like, "Damn, but I already got these tickets."
That
Yeah,
happens.
I had to go.
That happens.
But definitely, so it's been good, man. But now, here we are, May 21st, and we have you on the show. So as the people seen right there, they seen you're on the
already?
Timbales. Yep, it's the 21st. You're on the Timbales, so you obviously have the talent from the instrument side, but that's not just the only talents that you possess. So first of all, give us a little, let's go back a little bit. Tell us a little bit about what got you into music.
And my family, my father.
All right.
I can attest to that.
I mean, what can I say? I was a kid and they have rehearsals in this back room. It was our house, but it was like this freaking back room. And there was just a bunch of musicians in there, and I would just be in there and all of this stuff, and they would hit me and kick me out, and then bring me in, and then have me play, sit me on a chair, play, and So I was just always surrounded by it,
All right.
basically, you know what I'm saying?
So it's one of those things that were gonna come naturally.
My upbringing,
Yeah,
I was just,
so
I
it's
was
there.
surrounded by music.
But then you were about, what was it, 7 or 8 when I went to your house one time. And I went over there, and your father was sitting on a stool, and you were in the basement, and this had to be anywhere between 4 and 6 o'clock in the evening. Again, no, do it again. No, otra vez. And I'm like, instead of doing homework, this kid is being taught by his father to play the timbales at a very, very. Me and his brother talk a lot, and I always go to him like, I used to go like, now there's no doubt, because as I see him getting better and better and better and better, and I would see him go, but Daniel told me, he goes, it's a courtesy thing, it's respect them, we don't go head to head with each other. But I would love to see,
But it's good to have that friendly competition.
Absolutely.
It's good musically. I know you had a lot of influences right there, so you really didn't have to look
So I'm saying outside.
outside of.
As I started following records, I would just read names, and then I would see them live, and I'd be like, oh, that's that person.
All
There
right.
was this one particular person named Udicci.TV, which is like a brother to me now,
Okay.
which I still can't believe. And we call each other, we talk, and he calls me for his gigs, and he's a big part of the reason why I got to tour and got exposed to the artists that I play with.
Yep.
It was because of him. But because of him, I adapted to this style, and I related to him. And he seen me play, he was like, oh, this kid is on my level, but I'm like, because of you, and
Yeah.
but he kind of seen something there, this kid has got it. So I looked up to him mainly. His name is Versatility. He plays with Spanish Harlem. He's recorded all the Mark Anthony albums.
Okay.
What does he play?
He plays all percussion. You open the Salsa album, and you'll probably possibly see his name. He's with Chicoria. Chicoria is this famous piano player in like the
Chicoria?
world. Chicoria.
Yeah.
He's playing with him now.
Okay.
Like, touring the world with him. Just recorded a new album with him.
He's opened a lot of doors for you.
He opened the door for me, and I
And then you
went
just
in.
did. You just know what you had to do.
Can you name some of the major artists? I know he's mentioned a couple, but go through the list real quick. Some of the major,
And go through the list real quick.
And that's the point that I was making.
Some of your proudest moments then,
I play with Shania Twain.
Okay.
You know
Really?
Shania Twain?
Oh, absolutely.
She's a country singer.
Yeah, country singer.
To go out of salsa a little bit. I played with Aventura. And that was like you was asking earlier. That was one of my biggest moments. Not because it was Aventura, but because I made it to Madison Square Garden with Aventura.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
So looking at that crowd,
Yeah.
one of those moments where
It wasn't the one that was recorded at HBO, right?
No, that was before that. The one that I did was the last tour. It was called The Last Tour.
Okay.
And it was the last.
That was the last tour. They
The
named
last
it.
tour.
They named it the last tour.
Yo,
That was the last tour.
Romeo is he's witty like that, man. Like, they didn't say it, that it was the last tour because it was the last tour. It was kind of like a gimmick thing, but little did we know he had this plan.
Oh yeah, his plan, and obviously his plans of taking.
So you're telling me the rest of the team didn't know about his plans?
I'm sure they knew, but they didn't want to say it. Because they received an award as Aventura, right? I don't remember what award it was, but the bass player, who was just recently here with this group called Vena.
Yeah.
Mikey was my boy. We was chilling. I got to chill with them. I got to be cool with them. But he was screaming on the award show, "This ain't the last. This ain't the last." You know.
Oh, okay. And then next thing you know,
And I'm like, oh.
yeah, next thing you know is the last. But it's to show you guys it's music it's music, but it's called music business. It's not called music. It's called music business. And that's one thing that it doesn't matter what part of show business you're in. I would say the music, maybe 15 to 20% of what really happens, and the other 80% is the business.
Absolutely.
And a lot of artists don't get out there because of the business more than anything. So going back, to what you just said. So you grew up listening to Luisito Quintero, right?
Yeah, I followed him.
And you followed him.
I looked up to him, and through him,
You followed him.
I got, through following what he was recording, I got open to a lot of different music.
So you're doing that, you're learning from your pops, right? So you're being taught in the house.
That was number one. My pops,
Yeah.
my brother. My brother was like the one on me though, like the one
that would make sure.
Yeah, the one that would sit me down and come, and I would have to straighten up and make sure that I was on my P's and Q's.
Well, it's clear that they take it serious. It's clear that they take it serious because every time I see you guys perform, you guys are a machine. You guys get up there, it's a machine. It's not like you guys are up there and it's just, we're gonna just play today.
You can tell the difference.
Even when they go to like Charlotte and you just perform it like at a party or something like that, and it's just everybody brings the congas and everything. It's still serious. It's serious.
I wanted to make something clear though, man. It's just with anything. Like you said, if I was supposed to be doing homework, like if you were supposed to be doing homework and they were on you until your homework gets perfected, then you would be good at whatever that homework that you were
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So it's just with anything, like, so people, to look at me different. No, it's just I just did my homework.
You did your homework.
And people that go.
But it was something you enjoyed doing too.
But see that's the prize. That's what I. You know what I mean? That feeling of it is you can't give that to somebody. Either you have that feeling for it or you don't.
Absolutely.
Because you can get sidetracked. Because I got sidetracked a lot of times, and because of a bad sidetrack, really made me realize what I had in front of me.
Gotcha.
And I was told, like, yo, you sidetracking, but look at what you got, man. Like, open your eyes.
Yeah.
That's when I went serious. I didn't chill anymore in the streets. I would be home every day. My father gave me these big speakers, like these 15s, and I would just place them in front of me and just play. And I just got lost in it, man. So it was like I had a wake-up call.
Yeah, but that's the beautiful thing. That's one thing that we showcase here is that almost everybody that we've ever had on this show, they've had, their rough times, their tough times, but they persevered, and that's the biggest thing is that doesn't matter what you face or what you go through, it's how you come out from that, and it's obvious that you kept pursuing your passion, and now it's gotten you to the point where, you've toured all over the world, you've performed, like you said, with Aventura.
Right.
With a lot of the greats, I know people that come to my mind pretty quickly is Jose Alberto Canario, Frankie Negron, and Clave, you were basically like the fourth member or something like that, right? Every time I look, I'm like, he's there, so it's like in Clave.
Yeah, those are my boys, man.
Those are your boys.
I got mad respect for them because they keep pushing, they keep trying to innovate. Like, when I called them to do a feature on my song, they was like, of course. And I was scared. I was like, I didn't think that they would say yeah.
So I think it's safe to say that more than just building business relationships, you build friendships, you build something bigger.
It's it's a respect. You know what I'm saying? Like like I said, when I talk to Enclave, they respect what I do, and they took me a little bit more serious than just So if I'm able to have a conversation with them, it's respect. It's
and the respect comes from the talent. Obviously, because if the talent wasn't there, and it's like but they.
Well, it's
also,
I'm sure it's his ethic too. The way he carries himself professionally with the salsa. Then they if he was to bring him over into the hip hop tropical, they take him serious because they know how he carries himself over here. They know that he's going to carry himself the same way.
Well, that's it, and that's true in the aspect of they heard the track first before they even said yeah. So when they heard it, it was like, oh
yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Gotcha. Yeah, but we're definitely. So I know you dropped the album Hip Hop Tropical.
Yeah, it's called Oye Como Suena.
Oye Como Suena.
Is that your second?
That's my second.
That's the second album?
Yeah, my first one was like a variation of like reggaeton with salsa and hip hop, and I was messing up. I was trying to find my sound.
Trying to find sound, yeah. And I remember back the DMO days, man. Yeah. You were young.
And then before my first album, that was that was a straight hip hop.
You did the straight hip hop. I know with Richport had the music. So it's just something that music has always been there. No matter where you went, whether it was on some hip hop or it was on some rap, whatever it was always music that your heart where it was at. But then you came back, right? So you got back on track, and you came back with the salsa. But then you come up with this hip hop tropical. So what's that all about? Because you don't call it reggaeton.
No,
right? Because that's what I'm saying. So what exactly, explain to the people that are watching, what exactly is hip hop tropical?
Well, the music the salsa music that it's categorized tropical, right?
Yeah, tropical. Yeah.
So I added this hip hop flavor to it, and I was just like, what can I call it? And it was basic. It was just like, what is it? It's hip hop with tropical music, right? So just hip hop tropical. There's somebody out there right now that I'm working with that's like, they don't like the name because hip hop scares people away, but that's on some politics stuff. But, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it is what it is. I'm rapping on top of salsa. I'm rapping on top of tropical music. So hip hop tropical.
And when you record, the difference between you and a lot of hip hop artists is that your instruments are all being played live.
Yeah, live, yeah.
So it's live instruments.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the sound, is it more leaning towards the hip hop side, or more leaning, because reggaeton some of it could be considered hip hop as well.
Right.
Some of the verse, some of it is just straight, you know, you got the beats and it's just crazy party, get the bass out. But some of it, if you listen to it, is really deep, some real hip hop
Right.
flavor
Right,
to
it
it.
is,
So,
but and it's, I think it's heavier on the side side.
how is that?
Just because of the live instruments and like, you know, the hip hop drum is there somewhere.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
But the side side's like carrying it, like it's
Gotcha.
driving it, and then the lean back is the hip hop, which gives me the bed to rap on. You know what I'm
Gotcha,
saying?
gotcha. So it makes it easier.
Yeah.
I know the timbales, what we were just playing, that was actually part of a big show that you actually were. Right, you were performing.
Was
That
it-
was, I
the-
think that was the
the
one with
video
Enclave.
show?
Yeah, wasn't that the one with Enclave? Or no, the one
No,
where you
that
were with
was,
timbales?
That's that was called the show that we was on was Conga Head.
Okay,
And if you go on congahead.com, it's just a variety of just artists from the world, like even who else is on there? There's some famous people on there. I forgot, but that was a show, and I had a show in Washington the night before with Enclave, so I was planning this out. I was like, I'm gonna ask them to come do the show with me because we're playing, and they're gonna be in town already
Yeah.
because they live in Puerto Rico. And I was like, yo, on them, yo, you're gonna do this with me, right? Yeah. We got a long drive from Washington to New York.
yeah,
And then this is early, because I know you got a flight.
yeah.
So like, yeah, we're gonna do it. And then the last minute I knew it, they was like, yo, our voices. I'm like, come on, man.
Like, we were-
They made it.
Yeah.
The manager was like, don't worry, I'm gonna try to get them there. And they got them there.
Gotcha.
And it was something that I set up. And I just wanted them to do the one song with me. Because the song that I recorded with them was very hot. Like, it's called Pa 23, what you're doing with them.
Oh.
Everybody loves it.
Yeah.
So, I was able to make it happen.
Well, that's what's up. And I know the video, one of the videos you dropped for Oye Como Suena, which is the song title. Oye
Yeah,
Como
that's the
Suena,
song title.
which is with Little Ito.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Little
Because
E.
of Lil E,
He's,
Sway,
yeah, oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Sway. I mean, that's like
He's doing some
Yeah.
good stuff too. He's with the Tam Boys right now.
Yeah, with the Time Boys,
Bodega-
but they got bands and all of
Bodega
them.
bands,
So he's doing his thing, and it's just a Rochester thing. That's what I love about it. No matter where they go, it's still a Rochester thing. You know.
Right.
That's
585,
one
you
thing.
see the hat?
Oh yeah, 585, everybody's in the building. It's always.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not even. You know, and the people are like, oh, you really rep Rochester? I'm not even from Rochester. You know, I'm from the Bronx. I live in Rochester. I pay my taxes in Rochester.
It's
I've
not
raised
where
my
you
kids
from,
because
it's where
where
you
you at. And I've been here since 1993. So if you would have asked me the first 5 years, after 1993 up to like 1998, you asked me where you from? I'm from the Bronx.
Right.
You ask me now, I've lived half of my life
Yeah.
here. I can't say I'm from the Bronx. No, originally from the Bronx. My heart is in the Bronx, but this is where I'm at.
What do you like about Rochester?
What I like about Rochester, honestly,
You know what? I gotta stop that. I never had anybody come and ask us a question. I like that.
everything.
I like that.
Everything.
come on, we're talking
No doubt.
For one, the fact that you can survive here. You know, I come from a place, and don't get me wrong, Rochester's bad. It has its bad points, but Rochester to me is the only city where I can see myself being able to raise my kids, being able to provide for them a life that they deserve. For me to be able to live the way that I want to live, and still be able to do a lot of the things that there are that you can do here. I love being on the lake. We happen to have one of the Great Lakes right there. I like being out in the country. Well, guess what? We're surrounded by country. But I still love to be close to my people. I still love to be close to the community. You know, to be able to drive down Clinton Avenue and see people outside playing dominoes, and to be able to have all of that together, it's a beautiful thing, man. And that's why, like, no matter where I go in life, I will always be back here. I would always have residence here. All I want to do is I want to get it so that I can live one day over 6 months somewhere else, so I can pay their income taxes and their real estate taxes, and I have to pay Rochester's in New York State, because that's the only part that I don't like about New York State in general.
Right.
But I love the rock, man. I'm glad I landed here. But I look at it like, you know, we all kind of have this path that life is going to lead us towards, and my path led me here. And I'm glad that it led me here, because it could have led me to Buffalo. No disrespect to Buffalo, no disrespect to Syracuse, but this is that city.
Yo, Buffalo, I love Buffalo. I got family in Buffalo.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said no
I was
disrespect to
supposed to go to
Buffalo.
Buffalo today.
They got the greatest wings. They got a semi-good football team.
Yo.
Oh, your Bills fan, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we gotta get it
I'm sorry,
right
I'm
this
sorry,
year,
I'm
though.
sorry. But,
See what we got, right?
yeah,
Talk
but
football.
it's Buffalo, man. It's Buffalo.
You know, it's funny you say that because
It's nice. Yo,
It's gonna be just a season.
Squad, man.
We play October 4th.
Who's y'all? Who's
Giants.
Oh,
Yeah,
let's go together, please.
October 4th.
Let's
We're
go.
going. We're there. 1 o'clock.
Yes.
1 o'clock game. 1 o'clock game. Oh, you know, we'd be there early.
We gotta
Why should we
tailgate.
talk about getting a limo?
We gotta
And
tailgate.
just going out there deep. We're going to go out there deep,
Yeah.
tailgate, cook, everything.
Everything.
So we're there. Tag,
No,
you're a
you
Pittsburgh
too, bro.
fan.
You wear your-
You can go, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yellow and black.
Yeah,
Listen, I already gotta come to the dark side.
Don't worry, man.
So what were you gonna say though?
No, what I was gonna say is that, you know, Daniel and I were born and raised here. You know, I lived in other places and Daniel's lived in other places, but one thing for Rochester is us being here all our lives, that I guess we do take it for granted, all the things that Rochester does have to offer.
Yeah.
There is a lot. There is a lot. We just gotta go out there and do
There's
it and take it, you know.
More here, and especially for the value, especially
Absolutely.
for the economic, you know, especially the way that we grew up. We didn't grow up with much as far as to do with money, you know, the economy. But there's so much you can do here without
Yeah.
that. You know, you don't
Well,
need
there's a lot.
money to do, but it's just like you said, a lot of people don't, they just take it for granted.
Yeah, it is taken for granted, because I mean, I was the one that used to bitch and moan and complain, ain't nothing to do here to rob, blah, 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 blah. And you know, as you get older,
I see it every day on Facebook.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
crying, I want to get out of here.
Yeah, it is.
But they don't do nothing.
But
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I believe is that those same people would be in LA, in Florida, Hawaii, Costa Rica, and they'll say the same thing. Oh, there's nothing to do here, it's so boring, because it's not really, I think that you bring about that level of content within yourself. You know, it's like that whole happiness thing. People are like, oh, I need money to make me happy. I need a fly car to make me happy. I need this bad chick to make me happy. No. You need yourself to make you happy. Because you could be with the baddest chick, you could be with the most money, you could be in the illest car, living in the biggest house. But if you don't know how to make yourself happy, you're going to be miserable in a big ass house.
Rochester's a big melting pot.
So, and
Between
that's-
all the programs that we have to service the community, we also have like a lot of festivals. A lot of festivals.
Well, from
Probably
this point-
more than any other place. I mean, and now we're the central point for the jazz festival. I mean, this is where the jazz festival is the big one. Is where it happens.
Nobody takes advantage of it. I mean,
Yeah.
from the people that I know, from the circle that I know, from the people that talk all that, they don't take advantage. I mean, little by little, I start seeing more colored people going to those East Ave festivals.
Yeah.
And those
Yeah, yeah,
places,
yeah.
And now they're getting into it. But, you know, like, be aware, man. Like, read. Like, you know.
And that's part of what we do on this show, and I think that's part of what I do.
Yeah.
You know, I look at social media, people look at social media and they say, oh, you know, social media, I don't spend no time on that, but social media is a great marketing tool. You know, it's a great marketing tool. And
Well,
it's
but
not
even
to
before
market,
that-
it's not even to market yourself, but it's to market these things that are here.
But
or
before,
that
even
people pay attention
before
to.
media stuff, even before social media, we had these two things that were called the City Newspaper and the Free Time Magazine.
Like I said,
And
read.
those things are free.
But it takes people
They're
to read
free.
it.
They're
Yeah.
free. Pick them up and you can look at everything that's going on in the community. You know what? Dude, I went out to this band. You got it. I don't know if you like this kind of music. It's like old school funk type of
It's the phone with
stuff.
Shania Twain, so they love
No,
music.
dude. This is called monophonic. Dude, I took Johnny with me. I was gonna take him with me, but he wasn't interested in that. Or I don't know. He was busy doing. He was hanging out with Roland. He was hanging out with Roland, and he was gonna come, but then he was busy with Roland. But it was at the club next to the Water Street, and I found him because I was looking for samples. You know, some stuff. You know, on YouTube, just checking out like old funk stuff from the '60s and '70s. And I bumped into this band. I'm like, I've never heard of them. What the hell is this? So I did some research on them. Okay, listen to the music. I'm like, man, this is funky. Like they're going in. Like this is like amazing.
Right.
So I do some research on them. Turns out, not only are they new, they've been around for like the past 10 years. They're all white boys. All white boys with more soul than a black man can carry. And they came here and they performed. As a matter of fact, I went after work. I work at City Hall, and it was right there around the corner at the Water Street. So let me sneak over there, get the tickets now, so that when I come back, if there's a lineup, you know, whatever. So I go there, and they're setting up. So I introduced myself, met them real quick, and I told them that I hit them up on Facebook before, and then I was waiting. I told him, I was like, this is like over a year, almost 2 years ago. I said, I can't wait till you guys come over here. And he was like, no, real cool and stuff. Like, who you coming with? I was like, it's just me and my cousin. He was like, we're going to put you on, don't worry about it.
See?
Dude, we came in, and we were probably the only people of ethnic color in there. There was no blacks, no Latinos, it was just me and Johnny, it was a bunch of white people, and I'm in there with my beard just chilling. Like, dude, it was an amazing, amazing show. It was the singer with the organ. They had a trumpet, a sax, a drummer, a guitar, and a bass, and it was these guys were rocking it out.
Listen, one of my favorite
Ouch.
groups. Listen, one of my favorite groups is a white boy band. It's a Jersey band. And these dudes, they get it in, and they have soul, and they have all this, you know what I mean? Like, these not to say white people, but there's a big population of them, and these guys study something, a certain music, and get what they want out of it, and you know what I mean?
And that's what it comes down to.
And that's what you ran into.
No, dude,
Like, how about walking into a club and not seeing the band yet, and you're hearing funk reggae, and by the time you get to the stage, you see this white people.
Yeah.
Has that ever happened to you?
And that's my thing, is that I don't think music knows color. I don't think music knows any boundaries. To me, I look at music as two things. It's either good or it's bad.
Man, how about you go to China, bro? In China, there's
good or bad.
Salseros.
Well, in Japan, los japoneses, son de sol.
No,
What was they called? They were big back.
Orquesta de la Luz.
Okay, de la luz. Yeah, and it was a Spanish
They
lady.
put the record on and you would never
You would
until
never
got the cover.
ever know.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
universal. And I remember, I think back to like when Fania went, I think the year I was born, the year we were born, 75, they went to Africa to perform. Went out there and just performed. And they even asked themselves, like, what are we doing in Africa? Like, they don't even speak Spanish.
Yeah.
What are we doing out there? And Willie Colon, I think it was like a documentary or something. They started playing and they were all jamming. They were all, every single last one in that stadium was straight on beat. But then it was like, we gotta remember, where does the music originate from?
Yeah.
It originates from Africa.
over there, yeah.
So it's just all came back full circle. It doesn't matter what language you speak, you still speak in music. And music is the only thing that it's universal. Like
Yeah, and it's literally universal. When you pick up a sheet of music, it's read the same way you read it in Europe.
Like numbers.
Yeah.
So that's a beautiful thing.
No, but I brought that up just to say that pretty much that there is things that happen here in Rochester.
Right, going back
You
to
just
that.
got to be aware of them and just think outside the box and allow yourself to experience different and things.
So some people are just comfortable staying in
Their own
their
way.
comfort zone,
Yeah.
whether it
Yeah,
be in
man,
the
you know,
corner,
like really,
in the
like
house.
traveling the world, man. I really encourage you to get out of here too. You know what I'm saying?
I used to tell him, get out of here. I was like, Daniel, leave.
Yeah, but
leave.
like see the world.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like I mean in that aspect. I don't mean get out of here, move. I mean see the
No,
world.
but see the world.
The world is something else, bro. Like,
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
What's the
always-
furthest you traveled?
What's the furthest you traveled?
I know the one time you missed the Jenny Rivera thing because I guess something with your knees and your passport. Something.
Oh wow!
I remember that.
Yeah.
That was more or less when you first started getting into
That was-
the big circuit with the guys and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, but no, I've been to South America, right? I've been to Europe. I haven't been to Japan. I've been asked to go to Japan. That didn't happen. But I would say Europe, right? Europe and
Yeah.
South America.
It's just-
But yo, man, this world is something
Yeah, just to
else.
see, and that's one thing with me, man.
I can't explain
He
it.
knows it. At least 3 or 4
Right,
times a
you travel
year,
a lot.
I'm trying to travel, and that's not, wait till I get to the point where I'm doing this for business, because then I'll be traveling all the time. Then I'll get my 6 months in one day out of Rochester,
Yeah.
and then I can pay other people's taxes, pay another country, another state's taxes. But that's the whole point, is you have to live. I think that's what it is. You have to live, and I think going back to the original question, the original point is that it seems like people are just content living within this little.
They're not content. They don't know no better.
They don't know any better, they just stay there. And that's one thing that we hope to do. And we're working on a couple of things, a couple of projects that really showcase things like this building right here. There's people that have never stepped foot into this building that don't realize what goes on in this building. That when we bring them
Been
here.
here first Friday?
I haven't been here, particularly here, but when Bridgeport took place, there was a
Well, Creator Studio.
Creator Studio.
Yeah, Creator Studio. Studio was right there.
It's a whole
We
different-
recorded
I mean,
albums,
yeah.
but this whole entire building, like when we used to
Crazy
go there,
here now.
when we used to go to Creators, it was like at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. We'll be there 6, 7 in the morning. I'm talking about on a Friday, first Friday here. This place lights up, bro. There's an energy in this place that is.
And the art.
That's
It's
good, because I'm sure the
remarkable.
majority of people that ride by, they look at it like an abandoned.
No, they just look at it like it's nothing. And the people who brought it like, oh, wow, that's crazy.
Well, I live up the street, just like your brother does, and honestly, I've been to this building many times. We used to rehearse a couple doors up for the play and stuff, and I knew that the art then was here. I knew this was an art building, but honestly, I thought it was like little trinkets, little whatever. I thought it was like honestly, like public market stuff, like whatever. And then I came over one day. We were here, right?
Mhm.
And then you brought me over there, and I'm like, oh, a couple doors down, and then these people over here, I'm like, whoa. I mean, I was highly
working out with
impressed.
my boy Angel.
Yeah.
Build your temple.
Yeah, that's at the dojo.
Yeah.
That's at Jose's dojo. So
I was
yeah,
sweating my-
oh yeah, absolutely. They get you sweating up in there. But so for the sake of time, so we know, traveled the world, you've gotten to perform with legends. You know, you've been doing what you love to do, what you were taught to do, what you saw at an early age, and now you've been able to parlay that into a career, and you're doing your music. So right now, what's going on with Decoy? I know, if I'm not mistaken, you just signed a deal. I don't know, was it a distribution deal with Falu Entertainment?
It's a distribution deal.
Distribution deal. That's what I thought it was.
I recorded a third album, right? The one after Oye Como Suena.
All right.
And I got that. I know I was like blasting it when I was in the studio recording. I was like, it's coming, a month. And boom, right when I was done with it, Falu was like, yo, the deal went through. Put all that on pause. We gotta, you know, let these singles out so that the world can hear what they haven't been hearing, that Oye Como Suena, because it really hasn't gotten out like that. So it makes sense, you know, put out to not, you know, why put out new music people haven't even heard your old music.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Well, I mean, there's some songs like, not to cut you off, there was like, example, I can't stand this song, the Superman song. Superman, yo.
Oh yeah.
That song was a hit where it actually hits the national market. So I mean, it takes a while for a song to get out there. You just gotta let it
it's
bubble.
a process.
Yeah, you gotta let it
It's
bubble.
a process. I just seen Bonitillo, who I recorded my last single with, Asesina.
Yeah.
I seen him, and he's been going back and forth to Santo Domingo, and he was telling me, yo, the song is playing out there in rotation. Every day, rotation, back and forth. Like, he's like, it's a process, you know, it's building, by the time you know it, boom, you know. But my thing is, I try not to worry about that. I just keep making music.
You make
know
the music
what I'm
and you make sure you with the
saying?
right
And
people.
I have a whole album with Enclave. Me and their manager at the time, we sorted out these songs of like remakes and stuff like that. So I mean, it's been sitting there. So I'm gonna put that out as a, you know, with a mix of the new state, like building it up. Like, yo, I got a new album coming,
But-
so I'm gonna just put out that mixtape with a bunch of stuff
So-
that hasn't been heard.
So it's safe to say that that album is still going to be coming out later on. So that's something that people could expect
Yeah,
in the future. What else? What are you doing? You know, something that, you know, people could look out for, whatever it may be. What do you have going on right now that you could think of? Any tours going on? Any?
I mean, I've been getting calls to perform with other artists.
Okay.
Since I'm like here in Rochester, and I'm like working on just me, like
Yeah.
my music and just building that. I haven't really been taking it because I've been there, done that. You know, not
Yeah.
to say, you know,
Yeah, no,
that's
okay.
my passion. I love it.
But you need to work on you.
I need to work on me.
Yeah,
So that's what's in the works.
All right. So
Just, you know, just sitting, writing, building, thinking about, you know, things that are happening now, thinking about what to talk about. Just, you know,
so this summer we could expect at least those songs with Enclave.
man, June is what? Today's the 21st, June. Like,
Choose right there.
Yeah,
Around the corner.
yeah, middle of June, I'm gonna drop this mixtape. We mixing it right now. So
Okay, cool. And then where can people find you?
my website is decoymusic.com.
So that's DEECOY.com. And then obviously on Facebook.
Yeah, please go to the
YouTube.
website. There's music there you can download right now, like for
Yeah.
people that haven't heard. Like,
So through your website, all the social media is there too, right?
that's how it goes, man.
So DEECOY.com. Make sure y'all go out, support one of Rock City's own, but internationally known. So Rock City's own, internationally known, which is the beautiful thing. But that's, you know, the proof is in the pudding. The work that's done, you don't have to speak on it. It gets out there. And that's what obviously has happened for you. And you know, you've been blessed with a great career and still have so much more to do and so much further to go.
I know, y'all sit here, y'all talk about this and that, I'm like, yo,
Sometimes
what I'm really trying to do now is just on some other, because I'm trying to take the place of, you know, those singers up front that I was backing up, you know what
Now
I'm
you
saying?
wanna go up there.
So that's, you know, and that's a challenge.
Well,
because
it's a bigger challenge than you think because you're actually trying to create a new market.
a new genre of music. you know,
Absolutely.
the fusion, man.
And that's not easy.
I'm not scared because, you know, the people that do hear it, when they do hear it, they're like, yo, I love it.
Yeah.
The old Salcedo heads, and I was surprised to hear you talk about someone else was saying like the album covers and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I was raised on that too.
Yeah.
But you know, the Salcedos that see my cover, they see a b-boy and like, they're like, you know, thrown off by that.
Yeah.
But that's just me being me, right? Because I
Yeah,
love
sure.
art and all that.
Yeah.
But they throw on the music and they hear it, they're like, yo. And they don't take it out. They see. Sometimes I drive around and I hear people playing my music.
Yeah, so
which
that's
is you know.
that's a gratifying thing. That's a beautiful thing to have that, you know. And shout out to Range because you just brought up the cover.
Range,
Shout out to
yes,
Range
wow.
and another one of, you know, our
Bring 'em
own.
on.
Oh yeah, no, Rain
No,
Check's
you
already, it's
definitely-
already in the works, it's already in the
You
works.
can bring his black book.
Which
yeah,
one?
Man,
One of
this
them.
dude, yeah,
We
like
got
one of
boxes
the
of
thousands.
Yeah.
But we definitely want to thank you for coming on. Make sure DEECOY.com. Stay tuned. Doesn't matter if you're into hip hop, you're into salsa, whatever music you're into, you're gonna respect the talent. You're gonna appreciate the talent. You're gonna love the talent, and I'm glad that you stopped by, man.
Appreciate y'all. Keep doing this,
Oh,
man.
absolutely. Oh yeah, this is it, man. This is what we do.
All right, so-
Like I told you, this is all we do is we talk junk, and
Real talk.
we do what is real talk, and that's what we do. The Rock is always in the building. I don't care where you go.
Stand up. Let me see
The
the
Rock
shirt.
is in the building. The Rock is in the building. Everywhere you go. And that's one
So
thing.
give a shout out to the guy
I
that
wanted
made
to
that
make
for you.
sure.
Where you gonna
Oh
get that
yeah,
shit
I
out?
went down. I want to shout out the Chinos at the Slauson Swap Meet on Slauson and Crenshaw in Compton, California. Yo, this is crazy. We pulled up at the freaking flea market, and I kind of got to remember the fact that marijuana is legal over there. So when I pull up into a parking lot and cats are sitting on top of their car just smoking, and the cops are right there, and everybody is like, I'm like, what? Wow, it's catching contact everywhere I went, bro. It was crazy. The hotel we were staying at, there was a clinic called Natural Remedies, and I'm like, at first, you know, the windows are all like blocked out and everything, and I kept on seeing like cats going in there every time I would take a walk or smoking a cigar or whatever. I see cats just going in there. And finally, I see the door open up enough, and I looked inside, and it was a freaking a weed
Weed clinic.
a weed clinic.
Yeah.
But all the cats that were going in there,
It's called the spot.
were up like
That's called a spot, yeah. That's the way we look at it.
That's
That's
a
a
spot.
spot.
It's
That's
a
a
legal
spot.
spot. So definitely, yeah, it was
They
crazy.
did the hat and the shirt over there?
The hat and the shirt,
On the
I
spot.
went in there, I got the Uptown, the Air Force Ones from there. You can get everything. You can go in there and get your gold chain. You can get everything in there.
That reminds me of Florida when I lived in
One
Miami.
spot.
They had
It's a
those
flea
flea
market.
markets. Yeah, they had them over there.
But-
You could buy it. They had indoor and outdoor ones.
But this one, the reason I wanted
They-
to go was because, you know, in Boys in the Hood and Menace to Society,
Yeah.
they always talked that they were going to the Slauson Swap Meet. So I'm like, I want to see what the Slauson Swap Meet is. Now it's called the Slauson Super Mall. It's still the same thing, but it's a super mall. It's been elevated.
Right.
It's still on Slauson Avenue in Compton, so it's crazy. And I don't know if you've seen one of the pictures I posted, but it was an alley. And it was literally like the alley that when Ricky got shot.
Oh, yeah,
Yo,
yeah,
look at
yeah.
that picture. And it was like, I mean, I'm sure it wasn't the exact alley,
Yeah.
but it was an alley that Ricky could have got shot. Somebody named Ricky
Ricky
got
alley.
shot in that alley. It was crazy. But I definitely want to thank everybody that's watching, everybody that's going to be watching. Make sure you guys tune in next Thursday, Real Talk 360.
We got next week.
And we out. Right now, next week, we have
Anticipating
Willie
to have.
Monroe Jr.
We're looking at Willie Monroe Jr. back on the show.
So
we have a lot of exciting
Some of the
people coming
questions
up.
that you asked me about this and that, you're going to be able to ask.
Absolutely.
He ain't gonna
So
ask
it's
me,
a
he's gonna be
beautiful
over there
thing.
asking.
No, I asked him.
No,
Yo,
he knows how we get down.
should've-
Yeah.
Yo.
I don't think you should have done that right
Yo,
there.
you
He's like, all right, you know what we're going to do is I'm going to bring a set of gloves in, and he's going to be like, okay, you tell me at what point.
No, what
you
I'm gonna
wanna
do is I'm
stop.
gonna write down the questions, give it to Julio, you ask him.
So I want to thank you guys, though. If we want to cue up the outro, Tim, we're good.
We're good.
And this is another episode in the books. And once again, decoy.com. Check us out on Real Talk 360, Udicci.TV, and in your local neighborhood store, because we are everywhere. And we're out. Thank you for coming out. God bless you.
Good night. I need someone to clean up after me here.
Hey, I got a bar and shit, and you want to get a drink in it.
Look, they got the nerve to put me out here twice and get choked out.
Choked out.
Watch. Right there, that's one. Where is it? Did it happen already? Of course, twice. There you go. This girl man's getting choked out. I thought I was gonna die.
That's good. Great, yeah, great conversation. Guys.
Thanks.
I just like sit back there nice and quiet and watch.
Yingling.
Yours? Yours? Sure.
Yeah, that was mine. I'm gonna finish it now.